Thank you for coming on Like Birds, Elizabeth.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. What a privilege.
I'm thrilled you're here. Tell me a little bit about that song, Speak Your Name, and just, man, it was, you can feel like you wrote that from a place of just a wrecked heart.
Yes, very, very much so. Well, it kind of goes back about 19 years. Because my daughter will, actually be about 20, because my daughter will be 19. One of my daughters will be 19 in March. But the one that I was pregnant with will be. So about 20 years ago, I was with my first marriage. I was a bonus mom. I like to say bonus mom to a precious girl who I love dearly to this day. And then I had biologically my firstborn. And while pregnant with her, a newlywed, I was going through a whole lot. Severe depression, just didn't really want to live, and didn't realize what kind of a mess really my marriage was in. I mean, I knew that it didn't feel right. It didn't look right. It wasn't what I dreamed or prayed for or imagined. But I was just miserable. I was in a place where I didn't see a way out of the pit that I was in. And my parents, at the time I lived near my parents, we did. And my ex-husband was trying to start a business where I'm from originally, which is Mississippi. And at the time, I really didn't want to be there. I love my parents dearly, but I just felt like my home was Texas. Once I left, I just knew Texas was my new home, right? And so during this time, I didn't have a song in me. I've been writing music since I was 14, and I don't care to say how old I am. I'm 43. But so this whole time, just life took songs out of me, like circumstances, and it was hard to even say the name Jesus because I just felt so captive. And I just remember going to, being in a state, and my parents, were really concerned about me, not knowing what was going on. They just knew something was wrong. They tried to reach out, they tried to help, but I did push them away. And so I remember getting to the piano and going and just starting to play the very beginning of the song, which you heard, When I Speak Your Name. And before words could even come out, I started crying. Wow. And I was just like, I could feel the Lord moving. And if I start crying, it's That's only okay. because I remember, I remember where Jesus met me. That's right. And he's met me so many times, countless times that are too much to number. And during this time, I began through my tears singing Jesus, the most beautiful name of all names. And then when I got to the part of When I Speak Your Name, I stopped and paused. And I'm like, okay, so when I speak his name, what happens? So I began to answer my own question in the song. And I actually couldn't go. I tried to finish writing the song, but, and I got to around the chorus maybe, but the song was unfinished. And, there was a Christmas break, and I had gotten a phone call from a friend at the time, Klaus Kuhn, who had said, hey, when you come back to Texas, we want you to do worship with us. Because I went to Christ for the Nations Bible College, and it's such a great college. And we want you to sing on the team again, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, okay, cool. So before we began rehearsal, like real rehearsal, everybody was getting there. I just got on the piano just to diddly around and started singing the song. We were getting ready for a live recording, actually. And he said, whoa, what's that? And I said, well, it's a song I'm writing. And he said, okay, let me know when you're finished it. And I was like, okay. Well, I couldn't finish it. And I remember being in Target, which I don't go there now, just so y'all know. And I don't really care if y'all are offended or you're not, whatever. But I'm just saying I was in Target. And so I was there shopping, and I got a phone call from Klaus. Hey, have you finished the song yet? And I'm like, no. no, I haven't finished it, but I would really like to finish it. And so anyway, he said, I really feel like I have something if you are okay with me helping you with it. I'm like, well, actually, crazy story. Your name came to my mind for the song. And I thought possibly you might be the one to help me finish the song. And you're like, oh, wow. So it was just confirmation.
Wow.
So
that's powerful.
yeah. So we sat down and finished writing the song. And then it was on the Christ for the Nations album. Then after that,
How long was it on the shelf? Let me ask you that, because I do feel like as a creator, like that's so worth knowing.
Not long.
Not long?
This
Okay.
this specific song, I would say, was on the shelf for just a month or two.
Okay.
And but yeah, I have a lot of songs that have been sitting for years
Yeah.
on the shelf, just waiting to be recorded and put out there. Listen to their story. But yeah, so that's a great question. Yeah, and
So
then
you said Christ and Nations picked it up, and then what happened from there?
well, after that, a lot of other people decided they wanted to record it too. But Gateway was the next church to record it.
Wow.
And of course, very honored. And I was able to go to the live recording for that. That was very cool. And then next,
Was it weird to see somebody else singing your song in like a
Yeah.
platform like that?
yeah, it
Really?
always is.
Yeah.
It's cool and weird at the same time.
Especially
you know?
Gateway. That's a huge church for our listeners
Yeah.
that don't know. That's one of the biggest churches in Texas. That
Yeah.
They've spit out some amazing pastors and just
Yeah,
amazing
sure.
ministry. So,
Yeah.
but that's huge opportunity. So, like, yeah,
Yes.
what was that like? What was the vibe?
Well, what is really amazing about also that is just the time of the people that were a part of this recording at the time. Quite a few of them were either at Gateway or part of Gateway. And so I was blessed and right there at the right time, a Kairos moment where the Lord just opened up that door of opportunity and said, and they're like lumped all the songwriters at that time because Integrity Music they were around for a long time. They're still around, but they've got a new name, which is David C. Cook. But so it was like under the publishing for Gateway. They wanted to put the song under there, which would actually help me in a lot of ways because I don't have to do the legwork when it comes to publishing, which that's a whole nother thing. But then it also helps bring in revenue as a songwriter, which is really tough as a songwriter to get, especially nowadays. When you play songs on Spotify as an independent artist, you literally get pennies.
Pennies, yeah.
Yeah. And so even with thousands upon thousands of streams. So, to build things up as an artist is a difficult thing. However, if I have found in being obedient to the Lord and walking humbly before Him, trusting Him, and realizing where your priorities need to be, and that is loving God and loving people.
Let's go.
When you do that, the Lord opens the door for promotion, and your talent will get you there. But it's humility that'll keep you there.
Amen.
And so I'm totally all about being more influential than famous, because famous is fleeting, and sincerely, I don't care about being famous. And like we talked about before the show, it's reaching the one.
That's right.
It's reaching our community. It's reaching the people around me. And just because the market is saturated with all of this music, I decided no matter my age, no matter what, if God's put this in my heart and He's called me to this, I'm not going to let anything stop me. And He's opening the doors. I'm going to walk through them. And at the same time, He's going to bless those steps of faith.
That's
and
right.
He's going to make a way where there seems to be no way.
right.
He's going to give me creative ideas, bring people into my life, help me, and all that sort of thing. And then I'm just going to keep stepping and keep walking. So while it's really it's such an honor to see other people record the song. At the same time, I also keep coming back and being reminded it's not me.
It's not even your song. It's the Lord's.
Right.
So you give it back to him is what you're saying?
Yeah.
Ooh.
It's all glory to him.
All
and
glory to
anytime
him.
we
Amen.
try to take it for ourselves, you can
come on.
see that. And it's pride comes before a fall, right?
That's right.
And so I'm like, ooh, I really don't want that.
Yeah.
I really, truly just want whatever the Lord wants. And I've got to stay in that right mindset and that frame of mind of loving God, loving people, and imparting to the next generation, and being generous with who I am. This is this. The songs are great, but singing the song, that's not worship. It's my lifestyle, and so. Sometimes we glorify even the genre of worship, and we glorify people. There's so many celebrity singers.
Worship.
Yes.
Yep.
And there's a lot of celebrity pastors and singers, and I'm like, eh. For me, it's just a turnoff.
Right.
You can tell the people who are just absolutely genuine and just really do love the Lord, and then to see the people who are living for the fame.
Thank you so much for supporting our YouTube channel. If you like this video, make sure you subscribe and smash that like button. If you would like to see another short clip from this episode, you can do so here. Or if you want to see the full conversation, you can do so here. And make sure you subscribe on Patreon. If you'd like to partner with us, you can do that. The link in the description of this video. Thank you so much, and we'll see you on the next one. Cheers.